I think it's time we talk about quarterback JJ McCarthy because we are getting close to training camp, and I believe we're all eagerly waiting to watch his first career start and his first full season as the Minnesota Vikings starting quarterback and potentially the future of this franchise. But one big thing is we don't really know how this is going to go, and I think that's why we're eagerly excited and just ready to see JJ McCarthy is because we hope for the best. We want him to be the next Patrick Mahomes, the next Josh Allen, the next Joe Burrow, something like that. But there's that chance, right, that he turns out to be a sorry Christian Ponder, but one of those, right? A Joe Webb, even though Joe Webb was wide receiver turned to quarterback, or just, one of those quarterbacks that just doesn't have it. And I don't think that's going to happen, but we're all excited because this is a season of like you don't really know what's going to happen at all. We went 14-3 last year with Sam Darnold. Okay, if JJ McCarthy is somewhat decent, there's a good chance we go or have a decent record just like that. So today we're going to talk about what's like the bare minimum JJ McCarthy has to do this year to be considered a success, or at least a successful season, that is. So let's get right into it. Before we do, shout out to our affiliate partners at Green Gridiron. If you want one of these mini helmets, the link for that is in the comments section. It's also in the description. Hit that link. Use the promo code MINSYN, MINSYN, at checkout to receive a discount on your purchase. If you don't want this Vikings helmet, that's okay. They have all 32 NFL teams, so you can go and select your favorite team or a different version of the Minnesota Vikings helmet. They also have college football team helmets as well. So if you're a college football fan, not so much an NFL fan, or maybe you're a fan of both, you can get both helmets. You can get a Minnesota Golden Gophers helmet. You can get a Minnesota Vikings helmet, whatever you want. They also have fully customizable ones. So keep that in mind. Hit that link if that intrigues you and use the promo code MINSYN, MINSYN, at checkout to receive a discount. So the two winning formulas in the NFL are this. Number one, have a game-breaking Patrick Mahomes type quarterback, or like the other quarterbacks I mentioned, right? Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson type of quarterback. Number two, go cheap with a quarterback on a rookie scale deal and build around them. I think that's number two. We're starting to see more often, like because of Brock Purdy and the Bo Nix and the Jaden Daniels, because you're able to pay other positions, right? You're able to spread that money and build around this cheap deal and basically open up a Super Bowl window, right? And that's what Vikings, or the Minnesota Vikings, are currently in, or at least they think we're currently in. So with JJ McCarthy, the Vikings are in the latter category until further notice. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and Kevin O'Connell understood the assignment. Okay, JJ McCarthy's salary has allowed them to add major pieces on defense last spring, like Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel, Blake Cashman, and insulate McCarthy in the 2025 season on that offensive line with Will Freeze, Ryan Kelly, and in the backfield with Jordan Mason. So the Vikings have a Voltron of a roster complete with explosive weapons at wide receiver, tight end, and at running back. All they need is for JJ McCarthy to pilot it. Just go out there and fly the plane, take off and land safely. The rest will kind of handle itself. So the expectation isn't for him to just be competent, though. Minnesota just completed a 14-3 season, and their Super Bowl window is open. The Vikings must take a step to show that they're serious contenders, and that's going to require JJ McCarthy to step up in his first year as a starter. But what's that level exactly? Let's look to the history books for an answer. Since 2015, there have only been 3 quarterbacks who've taken their team to a conference championship game or further as a first-year starter. Some of them were true rookies, while others, like JJ McCarthy, spent a year mostly sitting out of action. And right after this, it basically goes, there's 3 quarterbacks, right? We all know them. Patrick Mahomes sat a year under Alex Smith, goes into, or all of a sudden is the chief starter, has a mind-boggling, you can consider first season as the starter with like 5,000 passing yards. I mean, it was just ridiculous stats. And then it's Jaden Daniels. We've seen that last year, led him to the NFC Championship game, right, with the Washington Commanders. And then the last would be Brock Purdy with the San Francisco 49ers. Probably, we talked about him earlier, right? The rookie deal he had allowed San Fran to build around him and build a force of nature, basically, just an absolute unit of a team over there in San Francisco, where they were able to do great things, make a Super Bowl, and kind of go on from there. But it's you look at those 3 seasons that you can consider all of them a success, right? What they were able to do their first year as a starter. JJ McCarthy doesn't really have to do that, but perhaps unsurprisingly, the bare minimum is still absurdly high. McCarthy might not have to quite reach Sam Darnold's 2024 season with 4,319 yards, 35 touchdowns, 12 picks to hit that Brock Purdy baseline, but he's not going to have the grace to miss it by much. It's easy to say put in a rookie scale quarterback and let the savings carry your team, but it's much, much more difficult to actually put it into practice. Cheap or not, your quarterback still probably has to be special at least to some degree, and that's what Minnesota is banking on if they want a deep playoff run this year. So, looking at JJ McCarthy, what I think is the bare minimum he needs to do this season to be considered a success. Have a winning season. I think that's a team scale right there, right? For passing yards, I want over 3,500 passing yards. You have the weapons to do it. You have the offensive line to protect you, to give you that time to do it. So go out there and do it, right? Simple as that. It sounds a lot, or it's easier said than done, right? Over 20 touchdowns, you could say even 25 touchdowns, and under 10 picks. That's going to be the tough part. The 10 picks thing is going to be interesting. I think he can do it. I think we're going to look at like a 27 or a 26 touchdown season with 8 interceptions. That's kind of what I'm looking at, JJ McCarthy. If we have that in a winning season, I consider it a success, and an even bigger success if we do make the playoffs. I wouldn't expect a deep playoff run. There is that chance. We'll take it one game at a time if we get there, but all he has to do is have a pretty decent season and win us some ball games. So you guys let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of the night, folks, and Skull Vikes.